to be the bone. Paid your cost to be the bone, yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Cloud9 Intuitive. My name is Janine and I am here to do a collective reading for the full moon in Libra, which is on April 5th at 9:35 p.m. Pacific time. Adjust for your time zone wherever you are in the world. First of all, thank you so much for being here with me. If you are new here, I really appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button if it turns out I resonate with you as a reader. And if you are returning, thank you. I love you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. Drop me a comment down in the comment box because all of those things help this channel to grow. And there will be an extended for this over on Patreon. And I am available for personal readings if you're interested in that. All that information's down in the description box. Also, shout out to everyone who's been donating to the channel. You guys are so cool. I appreciate that so much. It's so unexpected every single time, and I just love you and I thank you. And I reverberate the blessings right back to you. Let's talk a little bit about Libra energy. So Libra energy is all about balance and equilibrium. And this full moon is going to be about how we can usher more of that into our lives, especially when it comes to relationships, and not just romantic relationships, of course, all interpersonal relationships, but relationships are really highlighted here. So you might find yourself on a deep life review or spiritual review of the relationships of yesteryear, and really determining what has felt good, what has felt not so good, and what stories we no longer want to tell, right? So for example, if you have told yourself based on past experience that, maybe I'm just not capable of having a healthy, loving connection, or if you have told yourself that perhaps you are unworthy of love, or if you have told yourself that, that you are not deserving of respect in a certain situation or something like that, or maybe it's just not for you, it's just not meant to happen for you in this lifetime. This is the full moon where we release those stories and we lean into writing a new story that feels good, right? It's like, for example, perhaps you've had a relationship in the past where, it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, what felt good about the relationship? Was there anything that felt good about the relationship? And if there wasn't, right, you got to know what you don't want in order to figure out what you do want, right? And so if there wasn't anything that felt good in the relationship, what will feel good in relationships moving forward? What's feeling good right now in this moment, right? Libra energy is all about embracing the beautiful things. And this world has so many beautiful things on offer for us. And it's just a matter of taking the time to pause and look around and breathe it all in. And when you breathe in the beautiful things, you attract more beautiful things, more beautiful connections. You might find that your soul family is evolving now. So new people coming into your experience, people that no longer resonate, leaving your experience, but these don't feel like it doesn't feel like upheaval. It almost feels like this organic, natural flow in and out of your life that's happening simultaneously. And so while you might be a little bit emotional, right? As you're sort of coming to these realizations about what has worked and what hasn't worked. And maybe like even digging into some things that you repressed or suppressed. Like if you are one of those people where a friendship ends or a relationship ends and you just are like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? Moving right along, get back to my business, get back to making money, get back to whatever. And you never took the time to really feel through your feelings. You're gonna be feeling through those feelings under this moon. They're giving it to me kind of like, and they've been showing this to me a lot, like a gutter that's being cleaned out. And please know that I have never personally cleaned a gutter. I don't clean gutters, right? Okay. But giving it to me like a gutter that's being cleaned out so that there can be like a free flow of clean water going through, getting all that gunk out of there. It's the gunky stuff that's sort of been like repressed and suppressed that's coming up now, so that it can be released and so that you can have like a clean slate to write the new story about how you want to experience relationships in your life, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I've got a few decks in front of me. We'll start with the wisdom of the oracle. Messages for the collective for the full moon in Libra. Thank you. Yeah, you can't skip steps. You know what I mean? You can delay them, but ultimately it's going to come through, right? Like like you're going to have to have a visit, whether it's like a year later, a month later, 10 years later, whatever it is, you're going to have to visit with those emotions in order to move past them. Yeah, there's a reverse. There's a truck reversing behind me. So like, yeah, you're gonna have to go backwards in order to move forwards here, just a little bit, just a small step backwards. You got to go by the book here, right? You can't skip it. You can't skip it. You're gonna have to get real with yourself. Tell the truth about what you really experienced in those relationships, right? Like if you tried to paint something with like, if you tried to paint it as all being, it was great, it was fine, but that really like you felt wounded or hurt or in some way by a certain situation or experience, be real with that. Open up about it, right? Because that's how you learn through the experience. And it's going to allow you to breathe more clearly, right? To get that gunk out, to feel refreshed, more balanced. This is like the Temperance card here for me. So like more balanced, more equilibrium, deeper connection with source here as well. Like, and also like sort of like suppressing emotions is not necessarily controlling those emotions. It's just like putting them in a box and putting the lid on, right? You never actually learned learned what to do with those emotions because you didn't feel them, right? And so like it's heavy. It feels heavy, but this is a lightning. This is a lightning here. This is a lightning. The truth being the thing that's setting you free, being honest about how you felt, being honest about what wasn't working, being honest about what it is that you actually do want and who you actually are. It feels like you probably weren't able to fully express who you are in a certain situation, even if it's like, a job where what you were doing had nothing to do with what you wanted to be doing or what you needed to be doing in order to fulfill a sense of purpose, right? It's almost like being honest about that, being honest about the fact that you spent a lot of time doing a thing, and you're disappointed that it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, or you're disappointed that it didn't evolve into what you wanted it to evolve into. You're disappointed that it ended the way that it did. That's okay, but you have to face the disappointment, right? You can't just stuff it in a box and keep it moving, keep it trucking. You can, but eventually you're gonna have to go backwards in order to go forward. Okay, you might have found yourself at a point where it's like something you kept having to revisit a certain experience. Like you're like, why am I back here again? Even if it wasn't the exact same, there weren't the exact same players. It was like the experience was identical, and you're like, how the hell did I get into another situation that's just like this? Or how did I find myself back here at this juncture? And it's because of that whatever's in that box or whatever's in that gutter that needs to be cleaned out so you could have that clear, free flow moving forward. Okay. Let's just get a couple of these. Power of the element. I see 1111 here. So again, Yeah, there are new alignments that are wanting to happen, but you've got to clean out that gunk, because if the water cannot flow freely through the gutter or clearly through the gutter, and there's a spider that is floating down right in front of me. It's a tiny little spider. I'm gonna let him live his life. But yeah, so like if the water is not able to flow freely through, you're not going to be able to have connections that don't, that are like free from the gunk. Like you're going to carry the old gunk into the new connection. Whoa, hello. There we go. Show strength. Each day grounding your energy. This is going to take, it's going to take a lot of willpower. It's going to take a lot of willpower because you've been going without having to, like, without dealing with this stuff. Like you've achieved a level of success, like maybe not success in relationship, right? Or maybe not success in certain aspects, but like you have been able to, you've been surviving. Thank you. I'm getting survival mode, but like you want to thrive. You have another thing of breathe. Like you haven't really been breathing. This says make time. Breathe with the green spaces around you. Yeah, it's like you haven't, like, it's like you've been, like you want to thrive, not just survive. You might find yourself like taking like long meditative walk or hike or doing some sort of forest bathing, and it's coming through as forest bathing. You might also be working in your garden, like planting flowers or something like that, but like doing it as like a solo mission, right? As a time with like just you and yourself, where like it's like connecting with the earth, but also reconnecting with your inner being and your higher self here, because it feels like a little bit of like there's been a disconnect from the higher self, because of some truths that were not being told, or some truths about the self that were not being acknowledged. And then you have imagine a place where your heart feels at home. Okay. And that's what's coming in for you. Things that feel more at home. You might have been in a situation where, you were okay. It was okay. It was okay. But it wasn't like you felt like you were fully able to be yourself. Like you never felt completely comfortable or like free to express, free to expand, or like it was like yours too. You know what I mean? Like this is both of ours. Like it almost like never felt like that in some way. Like you may have always felt like you were in somebody else's territory. And now you're getting to a space where you're going to be creating your own garden to grow. So it's like, I don't know, it feels almost like you like connected, like you're like, wow, this person has a really beautiful garden, and they invited you into their garden, but like never gave you a little plot of land, like so you could grow your own things. And it's like almost like you were tending to someone else's garden, but not able to sort of grow something for yourself. And now you're in a space, because you're opening yourself up to these truths, you're taking that trip back in order to go forward. You're going to be in a better space in order to actually plant and grow whatever it is that you want for yourself here. Okay, so let's get some tarot. This is the Ethereal Visions Tarot that we're going to use here. Ooh. New soul family for sure. Yes, there's leaving something behind here. Ooh, okay. Okay. You have the Four of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. You don't want to let it go. Why do you want... like holding on tight to something that really like wants to be let go. It wants to be let go. You have the Three of Swords with the Four of Swords here. That's 7 swords. Separating from like some sort of deception, whether that's somebody who was lying to you, you lying to someone, you lying to yourself, right? But like separating from that energy in order to find to gain a level of peace here, to rest your heart. It almost feels like keeping up the appearance or keeping up the facade, keeping everything stuffed in that box in order to be like, I'm fine, whatever, it's cool, I'm good, it's whatever. Like that is now like you're realizing like, okay, that's disturbing my peace is what I'm getting here. Disturbing the peace. There's an apology that's coming in, or maybe you're offering the apology here. But it's like, it's a nice gesture. It's a nice gesture. This might be why that box is being opened with the gun, because maybe somebody's coming in after a really long time to apologize for Ten of Swords, like a betrayal, or you're doing this, or you feel like you need to do this. You feel like you need to apologize, even if it's like you need to apologize to yourself. You need to apologize to yourself for sitting in a situation, for lying to yourself about what was going on in the situation for too long. Apologize to yourself for maybe being like too impulsive in a certain situation or inconsistent. You have the Page of Wands. And you have the Emperor card here. I mean, listen. There's been a creative block. The gunk in the gutter has created this creative block. Which is like had you in situations where like been like kind of like at the what's the expression? You've had to move at somebody else's whim, I guess, maybe, or maybe somebody had to move at your whim. Take it however it resonates. But it's like that has to stop. It has to stop because it's just caused so much heartbreak and grief here. And the lies compounding yes, lies, but like it just feels like dishonesty, inauthenticity, even a little bit, sneakiness. It could be for some of you. It just feels like it's just caused so much unrest and so much disappointment. And like I'm just wondering why it's so hard to let it go. Like why? Why are we holding on to it? Oh, thank you. Because it's something that you feel like you've built. You know what I mean? Like it's like well, if I let go of all of what I know, and what you know feels rough. It feels rough. It feels like something that's not providing a lot of stability. Something that doesn't show up on time when you need it. Right? It's like something that's not on time for you. It's not available for you, right? And so it's like, and it hurts, but you don't like it's hurt repeatedly. But you somehow don't want to let it go. There's 17 swords, that's 8 swords. There's a fear of letting it go. There's a fear of letting it go because it's like you spent so much time building it up. Like if you spent so much time building it up, like, and you let it go, what does that say about you? what does that say about you? You're like, there's a fear of being like starting all the way over again. Like, I don't want to start all the way over again. Like, I've already like, well, this is fine. Like, I've been doing it this long. Like, it can't get worse than this. Listen, the tower is not out here, but it feels like if you continue to sit in this 3 of Swords situation, this 10 of Swords situation, this 8 of Swords, fear, victimization, feeling like, well, this is just what it is. And like, no, that's not just what it is. You can build something else. It's almost like, if you really believe you're a boss, then it doesn't matter if you have to start from scratch, because a boss can build it back. A boss is going to get it back, right? Like, so if you really believe yourself to be the emperor, empress, whatever you are, right? However you identify, if you really believe yourself to be that, you'll build it back up. You'll build it back up. You'll take a small little spark of an idea, a little bit of a new inspiration, some you'll go from somebody from like making eyes at somebody to making a life with somebody, or you'll go from like an idea that came out in a conversation to an entire business that's being built up. But it's like, it's leaving behind whatever this is that's been false, and that hasn't allowed you space to grow and to expand, because it hasn't afforded you any sort of inner peace. We have the 2 of Wands. Yeah, this is a decision point. Thank you. They keep telling, they're telling me the devil is better than, like, they're saying the devil is better than the devil that you don't, but they're also saying that tell the truth, shame the devil, right? And that's what you want. Like, you're not like there's no devil that you don't know, like, right? You could, like, there's also like angels that you don't know, like, you know what I mean? And so like, it's like almost like you're sitting in this state of indecision here, of like not really knowing which way to move. All this Swords energy, all this mental energy, and Libra's an air sign, so that makes sense with this moon. But there's all this, like, it takes us right back to the 10 of Swords. Hold on. 37. Yeah, it takes us right back to the 10 of Swords. It's like you keep hurting yourself almost. You keep hurting yourself by not standing in a truth that says, hey, this hurts, or hey, this doesn't feel good, or hey, I don't feel peace in this situation. My heart doesn't feel at home here, right? My heart does not feel at home here, wherever that is. Like, it's at a job, your heart doesn't feel at home. It's at home, your heart doesn't feel at home. So you need to move homes, right? It's with a person, your heart doesn't feel at home. And you need to imagine that there are places, there are spaces in this world where your heart can and will feel at home. But you can't sit in a place and be like, well, my heart doesn't feel at home here, but it's the only home I know. Well, that's just because you're sitting here and you're not going on the adventure. You're not showing the strength that you need to show in order to move out of the situation, in order to grow your own garden. You've invested all of this energy here. But there's still so much energy that's left to be cultivated. And do you want to continue to invest it in something that doesn't feel genuine to you, that doesn't speak to you, that doesn't touch your heart? No, right? Because then you have the 10 of Cups, right? You're like, the desire for harmony is real. The desire for like whatever feels like true joy to you. In this card, it's like, like two people coming together in like a family sort of setting. It feels like you could meet somebody who has children or something like, I don't know, something like that. But I mean, it could be, but that could be like the family that you could grow a family, or again, a soul family that you've always wanted, that supports you in the way that you want it, in the way that you've always wanted, that that like inspires joy in the way that you always wanted, instead of inspiring fear, instead of inspiring stress, instead of inspiring heartbreak and disappointment. It inspires joy, elation, love, growth, creativity, all of those things, right? And then you have the death card here, allowing this situation to end. Oh, I didn't even see the world card over here. Look at that. This is an end. This is something ending so that you can get to the next level. Something has to end on one timeline so that you can get to the next level, so you can get to the new beginning, the sort of small, it's a small new start. It's a wink in a new direction, right? But it's like that new direction is going to turn into so much more, going from like the Page of Wands to the Ten of Cups. It turns into so much more, because again, a boss can build it up, a boss can build it back up, right? The emperor builds empires as like a point of purpose, right? And so like sitting around in a situation that where it feels like that I can't build anything here. This is someone else's garden. This is someone else's home where I don't feel at home, right? This is a situation where I don't feel like I can be true to myself, or where I feel like the situation is not being true to me. And like it's almost like depleting the emperor's energy in a way. But like, you are the emperor here. You are the emperor here. And as soon as you step away, you realize like, okay, that cycle ended. That cycle ended so that I could be reborn, a phoenix rising from the ashes here with this death card. A phoenix rising from the ashes in order to resume the role as the emperor and build it up. Build it up from nothing. You did it before. You've done it before. You'll do it again. You'll do it again. Wheel of Fortune, yes. Thank you. The Wheel of Fortune here. What else do you have? The Four of Wands. You'll build it up again. And it'll be something that you really want, with people that you want to create with. It'll be something that really speaks to you, instead of you helping someone else build their thing, which maybe might have been the purpose at the time, right? Maybe you were put in that situation because you were needed to assist somebody in the tilling and the planting and the cultivating of their garden, which is great, right? Which is great. They made space for you to help them out, but you got to help yourself here. You got to help yourself, because right now it's like this situation has become a limit. It's become a limit. And the Wheel of Fortune is here to tell you it's time. It's time to keep it moving. It's time to move forward. It's time to move on. It's time for you to be rewarded. It's time for you to reap a harvest, but you got to plant your own garden first, because you can't reap somebody else's harvest. This is their harvest. And bless you for assisting them in building and growing their garden, so that they could reap this beautiful harvest, right? But also, like, now that it's not speaking to you anymore, now that it feels like you are making these sacrifices in order to stay in this situation, it's time to move on. New soul family coming in, new connections, a new network. Again, 1111 here. It's time to rebuild. It's time to rebuild. It's time to rebuild. And you can do it. You can. Yes, you can. Look at you. Look at you and look at you. Yes, you can. Anything else want to come through? The Two of Wands. Again, decision point, a choice point, and the Tower at the bottom of the deck. Listen, the situation going to change. So like it's do you want to be thrown out naked wearing the mask of the past? That keeps coming up. Do you want to be thrown out naked wearing the mask of the past, or would you rather say, you know what, I no longer need to wear this mask to stay in this situation. I'm going to go ahead on my own as my authentic emperor self and go ahead and build an empire that really resonates with me, build something that feels like home, right? A place where your heart feels at home. Imagine it. Imagine it. Imagine it, because everything, like, there's a whole blank expanse in front of you, and it's yours to build on. It's yours to create. It's yours to create something with, right? Okay. Anything else before I move on? The King of Cups. Emotional balance. You need to bring yourself back. You need to bring yourself back into balance. You might be doing some things to cope with a certain situation, like you might have like developed some less than healthy coping mechanisms in order to continue to keep that mask on. But like, listen, you tell the truth, you shame the devil, right? And you open yourself up to the new. You open yourself up to a new flow of energy, a new flow of creative energy, where you can build something, where you can be successful. You can build something that's really stable for you. Okay. Let's wrap it up with a Sufi Wisdom Oracle card. This is a newer deck for me, but I really like it. So all these decks are actually new. I want one of these cards for full moon to wrap this reading up. That's too many. I just want one, please. The one that wanted to show itself was Return to Joy. Well, let's see. One card, please. Whoa. There it is. Trust your gut feeling. Let your heart lead you to who you are. Coming back to yourself. Coming back to yourself. The power of you. Oof. The power of who you are. Let's see. So there's a Rumi poem here, and it says, each person has been made for some specific work. The longing for that work has been put into the heart. We waste our energy designing and carrying out plans to become what we already are. The secret to having a successful life lies in having a combination of love and faith. Love is the power that makes us fearless to move forward. Faith develops perseverance in us. No matter how long it takes us or the number of challenges that come along the path, it takes both love and faith to lead us joyfully to where we are going. This oracle brings grace to make you aware of a universe inside you. Reach for it by seeking experiences that would open new dimensions of reality to you. Discover what you genuinely care about and make sure you are being true to what you find. When you completely focus on what you are doing and are fully immersed in it, you are in a state of flow. Being in flow makes works effortless. Your creative power increases and you will be inspired and more motivated from within. Yes, it feels like there was like extrinsic motivation that led you into a certain situation, that extrinsic motivation is no longer like, it's no longer there. You know what I mean? And also the situation isn't yours it's not yours to continue to hold. It's time to move. It's time to move forward. Trust your gut here. Trust your gut and go where your heart feels at home. Let your heart lead you to who you are, right? Building something completely new. Your creative power is going to increase when you leave this situation. You've done a good job helping whoever this is, create what they needed in that moment. And now it's time for you to create something for yourself, okay? All right, y'all. That has been the reading. I really hope that it resonated with somebody out there. Don't forget to drop me a comment, hit the thumbs up, join us over on Patreon for the extended. And if this is where we leave things, please know I'm sending you so much love, so much peace, so many blessings, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.